The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros, the Bob father, Uncle Bob, declares war on the judges in the UK. So Bob Arum was not happy with the scoring for the Jack Catterall fight, and here's what he had to say. And Bob didn't hold back. When you're 94, there's no reason to hold back.
Exactly.
You can't put off for tomorrow what you need to say today. Here's what Bob had to say.
What's important to you now?
Hey,
I want to give. Bob wants to speak.
I saw the fight like everybody else. Those scorecards were a disgrace, were an absolute disgrace. And I really feel sorry for Josh. I thought he won the fight, but those scorecards were ridiculous. And that's the lesson. I will never, ever allow an American fighter to come here with this British board scoring the fight. Those scores were ridiculous.
What's important to you now? I want to give.
My man Bob. You heard what he said. Trill Dollar. What was your reaction to Bob Arum?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Talk that sass, brother. Talk that sass. Now, I agree. I agree with Bob on the scorecards. I don't agree with who he thinks won the fight, but I agree with the scorecards. The scorecards was a little off to me. And Bob got a point. You know what I'm saying? Bob got a point. He's been saying this, you know. I'm not mad at Bob. Bob can do no wrong to me. You know what I'm saying? Bob can do no wrong. You know, listen, he's a legend in this sport. You know? And if he's saying something, put some respect on Bob. You know? Of course, you know, he had a couple. You know what I'm saying? Sound like Bob had a couple. So he was a little off on who won the fight. But he was definitely on point about the scorecards, you know, and his feelings. How are you going to say somebody's wrong for how they feel? You can't tell somebody they wrong for how they feel. That's how he feel. He feel that people don't get a fair shake or the scorecards is always messed up. Like some people from across the pond might feel the same way, where, you know, they feel like their fighters don't get a fair shake when they come to the States, you know. But Bob, listen, you can't say nothing wrong about Bob. You know what I'm saying? He's been in this game for, they call him an animal. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so yeah, just to add to what you're saying, Eddie Hearn tweeted about it, and this is what Eddie Hearn said: "Call the cops. He's off his chops." To be fair, I agree with Bob. The scores were too wide, but no doubt the right man won.
Mhm.
What a fight! What a night! So that's what Eddie Hearn had to say in response to it. So even Eddie Hearn agrees that the scorecards were too wide. My take on it is the scorecards were too wide. And I agree with that. I also agree that the right man won. I feel like Jack Catterall, he won. Like I said, I feel like there were 7 definitive rounds that you had to score for Jack Catterall, which makes it abundantly clear he won. Now, Bob Arum may have given every swing round you could possibly give to Josh Taylor, but again, I don't feel like there were many. I feel like it was definitive, and I'm happy that Jack Catterall got the decision, especially after what happened the first fight. But in terms of Bob Arum's rant, I agree with it. If you look at what he said he'll never let an American fighter fight with the British Board of Boxing Control's judges. And I don't understand why we have these across the pond fights. Even when you think of Sandy Ryan here in America, right? I think of Michaela Mayer over in Liverpool against Natasha Jonas. I feel like you should have neutral judges when you have these types of fights. If someone is willing and has the courage to go to someone's backyard and take a fight, I feel like there should be protections in place for that fighter. So I feel like you should get a judge from Canada. You should get a judge from this place. You should bring neutral judges in, right? Or if you're going to do it that way, have one from the U.S., have one from the U.K., and have a neutral judge. But for me, it would be best if you had 3 neutral judges. But yeah, so I don't want it to be misrepresented what Bob said. He said he won't let an American fighter fight in the UK with the British Board of Boxing Control judges. I agree with that. But I also agree the same way in America. I feel like have neutral judges when someone is in someone else's backyard. So that way we can avoid the argument. The right guy won, but the scorecard was too wide. Now people are going to say like, oh, it doesn't even matter because the right guy won. No, it does matter because what if the fight was closer? Right? It does matter because you're trying to sell a trilogy to the public. And if it was razor close like it should have been, that helps the argument for a trilogy. But now if you're Jack Catterall, you're like, oh, 117, 111, I dominate him. But he didn't dominate Josh Taylor in that fight. And if you're being honest, you know that. So that's where it matters.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. It's Caden. I'm the commissioner. It's LLG. We're the Boxing Bros.